What's up, Dip Nation? It's the Too Much Dip podcast. My name is Dave, and I'll be hosting today. Joining me in studio, as always, Dillon Shivery.
Hello, David. Very happy to be here. Nice and easy weekend. My football teams didn't lose, and that's because they haven't played. So that's good. Cowboys, we'll see what happens tonight. But good mood, good spirits, good vibes, ready to go.
Good vibes indeed. That's why we're going to kick it over to KJ the Cheese Meme. I'm unfamiliar with this, but it's KJ live from Wisconsin wearing his Too Much Dip
Hello.
shirt.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here, freshly back from both Dallas and Kansas City. I anticipated being able to show up here, share with you fellas all of the highlights of a quick jaunt to Kansas City for my friend's wedding. Went off without a hitch. Beautiful ceremony. Everybody loves it. You've heard about weddings. About 40 minutes, actually 30 minutes ago, something happened that I felt compelled to share with you lads. You'll have to pardon my ambiguities as, can't really fully dox myself. We know I'm anti-dox. The place I spend most of my time when I'm not here is, an institute where people learn things. It is also full of people between the ages of 20 and 24, in the prime of their lives, if you will. In an effort to make sure I was here on time today, I had a very busy morning. Nobody cares about that. I decided to opt for I don't know if you've seen these, like cheese, meat, cheese sandwich. If you've seen the new Lightyear movie, I think of that every time I see these things. But it's basically like a vending machine packet where there's 2 slices of cheese on the outside and like a slice of salami on the inside. You fellas ever seen one of these at a 7-Eleven or anything like that? No bread.
I have not seen that, actually.
Well, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. And maybe it's because, local products and whatnot, but trustworthy thing here in Wisconsin for a quick little protein hit. I was hastily walking in my business casual outfit from one facility to where I park. Make sure, again, that I'm here with you fellas on time. And approaching me in groups of about 4 or 5, split by about 20 yards apiece, looked to be maybe soccer players, maybe tennis players. It's hard to say, but gentlemen who were at peak physique. Mm-hmm. And for some reason in my brain, I just couldn't stop thinking about Will's tweet earlier today about overhearing some Gen Zers crush on millennials.
Yes.
But the last thing that I wanted to be was the older gentleman in business casual just housing, like taco style, 2 pieces of cheese and a slice of salami, as I'm walking to my car. I don't know what the proper move was, but instead of just kind of palming it, I decided to shove that cheese into my pocket.
That's not the move.
Oh,
you
KJ.
You can't pocket the cheese, dude. What? No.
Chinos are a little bit greasy right now, but as I was doing so, it wasn't a smooth transition. Again, I'm kind of doing that walk with an intent, certainly not trying to look like I was running. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a smooth transaction. In fact, I'd liken it to, name your favorite quarterback screwing up the mesh on a handoff and fumbling football.
Did you lose salami?
I dropped the package completely. Not even the package because it was wrapperless. That's the quickness I was moving with. And I kept going. And then I hear a voice. Hey, sir, I think you dropped something.
No.
And in my head, I know it's one of one thing. However, there was a slight potential. It could have been my wallet, could have been, my ID or badge or whatever. Critical enough transition to where I can't leave things and keep moving. I turn around and I look down, and what do I see but about 4 inches of Colby Jack in a half moon size circle just staring at me in the face. And I'm like, Oh, thanks, man. I didn't know if I could say it wasn't mine and keep moving. I didn't have headphones in. I didn't know what to do. So I just picked up the cheese and kept walking.
Oh man. Yeah,
I
that's
didn't eat it. I will say I did not finish it. I threw it in the trash can shortly thereafter. But I should have just eaten the sandwich or just held it in my hand. Nobody's going to be like, hey, did you see that guy back there holding a disc of cheese?
you should have told the kid to mind his own business.
You just let that one go. Like,
Sir,
we know what's going on here. Let's not call it out.
your cheese and salami sandwich, if you can call it that. More of a wrap, a cheese wrap-ish.
From a distance, you probably don't see the salami. It's just kind of a, like an Encrustable, but make it cheese and salami. So you would only see the bread in this situation.
You tried to play hide the salami and failed. You actually did the opposite. You're
Correct. I'm your local stinky cheese man.
Glad you made it through.
I did not
Jay.
escape.
Man.
I've driven home just sweating bullets just out of like, I don't know. Should I check the hashtags? Like, is this going to be on TikTok first? Like, where do I go to find this?
Hashtag Madison Cheese Guy.
Neighborhood post. Some dude dropped
So
cheese.
for a very like topical reference, I was like, I don't know. Can I message Randy and treat him like Jack Bauer would Chloe and just be like, I need a, whatever BPA, whatever you'd call it. Can you track down this on social, see if somebody caught me squatting down in some olive green chinos to pick up cheese?
Anytime you can work in a 24 reference into the show, I'm very good with it. I was a big fan for about 2 seasons, 2 or 3.
Riveting.
Right before
content.
the president.
Shout out to Powers Booth.
Right before the president had to go to a football field to potentially be killed by like a missile to save the country or some shit. Do you remember that? Really fucking
Season 3 or 4. I think my favorite was they set up the vice president's pacemaker to get like hacked and turned off. That was the assassination attempt.
Love it. Love that post 9/11 world. Just playing on our fears.
Sorry for the detour, fellas, but I had to share.
That's good. I think you actually worked out better than had you actually gotten that thing in your pocket, because you can't have salami touching your clothing in any way. You just can't.
No,
not from the outside in.
Great point. Okay. Oh man. Speaking of, man, the outside. It's time to get on the inside of our good friends at Prize Picks.
Ooh.
Prize Picks, of course, is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS, that's daily fantasy sports. You probably knew that. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. Prize Picks is really simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds, which is very cool because sometimes these things take forever. I like being able to get in, get out. You know me, always tactical, always.
Well, what better way to make otherwise uninteresting games interesting? Getting a little stake in there, a little action.
Like yesterday, our Dillon and I, big Cowboys fans, they didn't play.
Yeah.
Didn't play.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of watching, having fun. How do I make this day a little more interesting? I do a little DFS. So check it out. Go to prizepicks.com/bang and use code BANG for a first deposit match up to $100. Go to prizepicks.com/bang. Use code BANG for a first deposit match up to $100. Daily fantasy sports made easy. How much Dillon, Danis, Logan Paul did y'all watch? I know you guys both streamed it.
Didn't watch any. This is weird to say since I am far from a Paul brothers fan. I'm glad that dude got humbled, man. I'm Dillon Danis out. I don't follow the guy. I don't want to know what he's up to, but I do see him spamming the TL with pics of Nina Agdal, which I'm not upset about. But it's low blow after low blow. And all the shit that he talked, to see him get humbled like that, I don't mind it. So hopefully he goes away for a little bit.
He won't. This just made him bigger. That's kind of his goal. Again, like the thing is, you think he got humbled. He didn't get humbled. He knows he's not a boxer. He had no intention of, he knew he was going to lose that fight. So he goes in there, he landed, how many punches do you think he landed, if you have to guess? Landed.
Oh, 25?
Nine
Single punches.
dig. He barely threw any punches. And before, in the last round, when it was clear he was going to lose on the scorecards, he went for it. He shot a takedown. Like he went
in a boxing match.
Yeah, and got DQ'd.
What's his specialty?
Jiu-jitsu.
Okay, so he's not a striker.
Of the Brazilian type.
Yes. The only reason he is rose to prominence in quotes, he was Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach. So Conor basically helped him rise to, get a social media following. I think he fought a little bit in Bellator. He was never going to win this fight. I will say I don't respect his methods, but he did sell this fight like no one would have cared had he not gone off and done the most toxic potential fight promo I think we've maybe ever seen in combat sports. But he got worked. I don't know how he stayed upright. I really thought that this would have been a knockout. He was really never hurt. He looked like shit after the fight.
So,
but the thing is, this guy won't go away because he's just a troll.
Was it at the weigh-in when they kind of got in a little scuffle and he took the microphone and hit Logan Paul over the face with it?
Yes.
Weigh-in? Okay.
It was the mic, right? It was very.
You could see him like the last second he switched the mic from his left hand to his right and hit him like over the top and it caught him on the cheek. I thought because he was bleeding so much, he might have to postpone the fight or something because I
thought the same thing.
Immediately started gushing blood out of his cheekbone.
Yeah, I thought the same thing because that's something you can't. I mean, had it been in a different spot, like had it been like his eye, above his eye or something, like they probably would have had to postpone it. But
and then someone else on his team picked up a water bottle and threw it, and it bounced off of one of the security guys' faces and hit Logan Paul in the face too. So it was a whole scene, man. These guys,
and there's a brawl after the fight.
The security guy on Dude Perfect, like.
Yeah, I mean it was quite a throw, honestly.
They hired
I just imagine
Kobe.
like flipping, yeah. He flipped the water bottle, it bounced off of somebody and then landed on the target. I didn't connect the dots to Conor McGregor and everything Dillon said regarding, or that's been said about it being like the most toxic fight promo. You don't have to absolutely give it to him in this case. But, the needle moved. I had no clue about the Conor tie-in. And so the whole time I'm just like, is this the equivalent of me like taking on, I don't know, Butch Harmon or something in Top Golf? Like, I don't know what the equivalent is. Like if you're fighting the guy who's famous for another guy's work.
Yeah. No, I see. He's riding in another man's wake. As our good friend Dan once eloquently wrote about in a TFM column about 7 years ago. But yes, so, he is, and to his credit, he got paid. People didn't think he was going to show up. We don't have to spend too much time on it. I just wanted to see. I was curious if anybody watched. I may or may not have found a stream that did not cost me US dollars.
I will say I'm glad to know that we're going to get another Paul fight at some point in time. We've talked about him for going on 2 years now in his fights to varying degrees. It's interesting to see our transition to the point of like, we found somebody we hate more than him and we kind of just respect him as a boxer now because that is so far from where we started. So
facts.
I guess kudos to Paul.
Kudos to Paul. Let's just do a smooth transition over to the ALCS. Mainly just baseball. Baseball in general.
Baseball.
Because I don't know if you guys were watching last night, but the Texas Rangers have taken a 1-0 lead on the hated Houston Astros, thanks to a gem of a performance from Jordan Montgomery, our trade deadline acquisition, 1 of 2, really.
Yeah, through 6 1/3 scoreless innings, looked really sharp, got into a couple of jams and got out of them.
Yeah.
One in particular, What's the big left-hander for Houston? I always forget his name.
Jordan
Alvarez.
struck him out to end like 3 times, right?
There's he was like first and second or bases that I can't remember, somewhere third or fourth inning, and I was like, oh man, this is where it starts to unravel for our Rangers. But to his credit, man, he got him out. Quite a pitching performance to keep that lineup in game 1 of the ALCS to 0 runs. Very, very difficult to do.
Can we talk Ump Cam?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm assuming we won't be the first to have this take on Ump Cam, but up until like having a meaningful game in which Ump Cam is implemented, a playoff game, an ALCS game, Ump Cam sucks. I respect what they're trying to do with the production, mix it up, but like if you want to show me a replay in Ump Cam, fine.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. I don't mind a replay in Ump Cam because it is a cool angle to see, some of what it would be like to see a major league pitch coming at you, but not a live shot because it's no way to follow the action.
It's borderline nauseating.
You can't tell if it's a ball or a strike. First of all,
no,
it's really difficult to tell. They take a cut and you'll hear contact, but it's hard to really tell what happens with the ball, like where it's going. It's shaky. The whole thing's a mess.
Yes. KJ, did you blow chunks seeing Ump Cam?
I liken it to Spider Cam mid-football game. And it's weird because both Spider Cam behind the quarterback and Ump Cam is what viewers who are more or similarly familiar with like the video games of the sport than just watching the broadcast. Like that's the angle that, 99% of anyone who's played the show or any baseball game dating back to Ken Griffey Jr., like that's what you get is Ump Cam.
Yeah.
But it is so disorienting and your brain's not ready to like deal with the speed or deal with the angles. It's just, I don't know. They need to I wouldn't even throw it on a replay unless it's something like the work that the Falcons have been doing. Like throw it on like the special plays when you're stitching it together for social media later. I bring up the Falcons, like the Bijan Robinson, like sky cam that we've been seeing.
Objectively
save it for that. Save it for that. Or put it on ESPN's Megacast or whatever equivalent we've got going here.
Do you think
I just don't need it?
Do you think the guys in the truck are when they didn't do this often? We got maybe once or twice, but when that's how they decide to show that at bat or that pitch, not even on a replay, like that's what they go to. Do you think they're secretly hoping, like, dude, I hope this isn't like a game-changing hit, or do they want that?
You gotta hope it's not.
Yeah, you gotta.
I don't know. They did it last night on some pretty crucial pitches.
That's crazy.
Like late in the count, guys on 2 outs, and they're doing Ump Cam. It's like, man, I don't know if I want to take the game in this way. So hopefully, this is an inconsequential pitch here, so we can get back to the regular shot.
Yeah.
What if they hit you with the ACLS as seen in an overlay by DreamWorks characters from Shrek?
Okay.
Like in the middle of the count.
Just everybody
just got donkey at short, just like fielding the ball.
I've famously never seen Shrek, and Randy was really mad about it.
That's, it's upsetting. You're going to be disappointed by all of the jokes, but they do hit if you've ever read a fairy tale or like a nursery rhyme or whatever.
Watch it with Little Man. What are you doing?
I don't know. We're just now getting to like the Bourne series.
Okay.
So we'll get to Shrek.
You joke, but Puss in Boots, like the spinoff of Shrek, is about as much fighting as a Bourne series movie. Like I let Kai watch like a little one of like a brief moment of that, and he's like swinging a broom around the house. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
The newest Puss in Boots.
Gotta be careful
feels
with that
weird
one.
saying that.
It does.
Is gas.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
Amazing.
Agreed.
Great story.
Good. Hey, didn't know that was a spinoff of the Shrek universe. Straight up. Thought it was just something separate.
I'm learning that as well.
Very cool.
Antonio Banderas has made quite a bit of money pivoting to kids movies,
Oh,
which
really?
is just bizarre.
You mean the purveyor of this meme?
Dave's doing a meme right now visually. You can't hear it, but you can see it if you're watching.
Yeah. I did that. You know the meme I just did. People at home could feel it.
Verbal memes.
Hey, anyway, in what feels like a very Team USA Ryder Cup moves, he was asked about it, I will say. Dusty Baker's already talking about Jordan being sick. Virus maybe making its way around the Astros dugout, around the locker room. So, just interesting, something to watch out for. I fully expect this to be a tough series, but hey, that was cool. That was really cool. And my heart rate did not spike. I was very calm until Chapman time.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell.
Never a dull moment.
I don't know.
We all thought it was gone off the bat, right?
Yeah, I thought Bregman's first one in the first inning was at least off the wall, if not gone. Because there's a short porch out there and left, and it's easy to get it out over there. I thought that one was also gone. This one was deeper, and they happened, lucky enough for the Rangers, it was the part of the ballpark where the fence jets out. It gets really deep there.
Yeah.
So lucky for the Rangers. Huge play, ended up doubling up Altuve after the challenge there. He didn't touch second on his way back to first.
That's hey, shout out to whoever noticed that, if it was Young or Simeon, that he did that. Because, I mean, like, to my eye, I didn't even notice it. He looked very confused because it wasn't clear if Evan Carter caught that ball.
Yeah, as the rule goes, if you round and you start to head toward third base, that means you have to go back and touch second before you go back to first base. And he kind of cut off like 3 or 4 feet of his path, which, as a casual observer, you're like, oh, that looks normal to me. But it was obviously breaking the rules, so he got caught on that.
Oh, because it creates an advantage technically, or you could gain an advantage by making that distance shorter.
Had it been more exaggerated, had he gone halfway between second and third, then you can't cut across the infield to first base, right? You have to go back and touch second base. You have to stay in the base path. So that's leaving the base path essentially. Yeah. Even if it's minor.
No, that makes tremendous sense. I hadn't thought of the rule, but it's clear as day as to why it is a rule. Speaking of weird cams, quick hypothetical question. I don't know. Would you be in on an overlay cam? Everything's shot the same, but baseball is singular in the sense of like, holy shit, you feel like a play's going one way, only to be humbled when it's just like calmly caught on the warning track.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but it feels a lot like when you're, caught singing a song, you don't know all the lyrics. Like, would you be in on them having an overlay where AI analytics or whatever kind of tells you the projected feet or the expected distance in that stadium immediately on screen?
Ooh.
Because
can we make it optional?
The exit velo, like, yeah, for sure. Not during main broadcasts and like required, but I would say like maybe the Amazon Prime stats that you can get on Thursday nights. Like, I would feel maybe a little more secure in my masculinity if I wasn't oohing and awing every good hit that sounded good off the bat.
Here's the thing, if it's your team in your ballpark, then it's way less acceptable to get it wrong. Because if you do like, oh, go, and you stand up and it's like not even warning track, and that's your ballpark, like, dude, what have you watched the game? Are you really unfamiliar?
You're saying right off the bat, there's immediate, like, this is projected to go 342 feet. And the fence is like 360.
That you could have that info, right?
I don't know.
Not like people on the field, but I mean like
instant.
computers, like how quickly that exit velo is known, because we know miles per hour immediately.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's an instant. I'm sure that's possible with modern technology. As you go to a live baseball game, like as a noted like a baseball guy, someone who grew up playing the game, you're super aware of that. Like, okay, there's a pop fly in the deep center field. I'm going to sit back and we're going to see what happens with this thing before I start to cheer for it, because most of the crowd, they don't know what the hell's going on, because they're not, they don't know the game super well. They start to freak out, and it's like, hey, calm down, man.
They're cheering on contact.
Yeah, calm down. That's a routine fly ball. Like,
let's this guy.
There are more sophisticated fan bases, by the way. Like at a Yankees game, for example, you get less of that than you do at. I'm not kidding. It's like
you're right.
It's a real thing.
A funny like bet payoff or something where you have to go to Yankee Stadium and you have to just be the guy who every pop fly, no matter what, you get overly excited in a sea of Yankee fans. You're just like, oh.
And you get shit thrown at you.
Yeah.
You get batteries thrown at you.
Like, I'm not wearing opposing, clothes in that environment, but I certainly would be the one to, you're the guy who's cheering for your team on third down when the offense is going, please be quiet.
Because even sometimes the trajectory will look spot on, but that might catch you on the end of the bat. So it's like, it's a soft fly ball out there.
Y'all saw the video from the closeout game, the Rangers Baltimore game 3, where the dude in left field just happened to be recording on Garcia's home run, and it landed right next to him. That was really sick.
Like, he could have caught it if had he not been recording. It hit right, I think it hit his right shoulder.
Yeah, like it was perfect. It was really, really perfect. That one,
it was a great video because until you see like the cross reference or the other context, it's just great to imagine this person just got not actually harmed, but like just took it to the chest or their phone just got knocked down because. Of course, he falls like off his bleacher and the phone drops and it just cuts to the end of the video as the home run lands. But I'm surprised we don't see more of ball landing within 5 feet of the camera view because I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, I feel like I hadn't either.
Any thoughts on the Phillies or the Braves exit or topic du jour, baseball playoff series being 3-5-7-7 and leading to so many exits by top teams?
Kind of sounds like sour grapes. I don't mind what we're doing now. We got off the 1 game thing sucked.
The 1 game thing was ridiculous.
No one liked that.
It was super exciting, but it was ridiculous at the same time. To play 162 games and then you decide it in 1 game like that is ridiculous, but exciting.
I think this is baseball, not a contact sport. So if it gives teams who, let's say, have their division locked up and it's not close, like Baltimore, for example, they didn't play a meaningful game for like 2 weeks leading up to the ALDS. But if that means you have to play all your guys and, treat every game like it's worth something, even if it's not, then that's a good thing for baseball. And I don't think adding 2 more games to a series is that big of a deal. You know what I mean? I don't know. Win some games.
3-5-7 is good. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Into it. 3-5-7-7.
I'd be happy with 5-5-7-7 or hell, 7 across the board, probably get long in the tooth, but I think I still stand by my preference for 280 game seasons with an end game, and just have 2 postseasons. Spring and fall ball. It wouldn't work for contract and tradition and history and all of that, but I'd be more dialed in that manner.
Why does MLB switch it up so much? I mean, it has existed for, I don't know, 100-something years now. Why are we fooling with it all the time? And not only that, but it's the All-Star game implications too, like home field advantage. That was the dumbest thing of all time too.
They panicked.
That was even dumber than a 1 game play-in for the wild card.
They've panicked because since I don't know if it directly leads back to this, but like since like the steroid era, like the late 90s, the peak of, Sosa, McGuire, and then Bonds, it's losing market share in the Big Four, and they don't have.
Yeah.
They just, for whatever reason, can't figure it out. And so I think the changes they made as far as like pitch clock and moving the game along have made it so much better.
Yeah.
But
agreed.
I think I kind of applaud them for tinkering with it. Although, yes, the home field advantage for the All-Star game is truly one of the worst ideas in sports.
A game that no one cares about. The players, they just show up for fun and just to meet the other guys around the league and bullshit for a couple days. I'm like, oh yeah, you do play this game, but for home field advantage of the World Series to be determined.
That was a knee-jerk reaction. That was a All-Star game that ended in a tie that they called because it was like was going in. I don't know why.
Position players throwing like 3 pitches in the 13th inning or some shit.
But it was just to add importance to the game.
Yeah,
like they wanted better ratings, but
people were mad because it can't end in a tie. Like,
who gives a shit?
Yeah,
it's a meaningless game.
That's right.
Yeah, that was a terrible call.
I look forward to getting answers on who cares and doesn't care about the All-Star game from an MLB All-Star. This Thursday, youtube.com/too-much-dip.
Gonna tell us what a sweeper pitch is. He's been big online. He's been big online telling people about the sweeper.
I'm enjoying how online he's being.
He's one of the most online guys.
Dude,
he's an all-star, and he's a friend of the show.
Getting real insight from players like that is awesome. I wish more people would do that.
Yeah.
He had a discussion, got involved in a discussion with a former major leaguer. I forgot who it was.
Jeff Fry?
Yeah, recently about hitting what was like a 97 mile per hour fastball down the middle versus a 93 on the edge, on the corner, and how much more difficult it is to hit like a faster ball. Shit like that is awesome.
Yeah.
Good guy, Brent Rooker.
We'll have to ask him about it. Thursday, 6:30 Central, only on YouTube. Check out the Too Much Dip YouTube page. Final thoughts. Phillies are awesome. Really fun team. Excited for that series. Derek Jeter. I don't know how much post-game, pre-game you caught with Big Papi, Jeter, and A-Rod. Jeter seems to be the only competent person on there. A-Rod's okay. A-Rod's okay. And Big Papi, he can be good, but they really want him to do bits. They really are like, dude, you see what Chuck does on Inside the NBA? You need to be the bit guy. Which,
hey, I put vodka in Frank Thomas's drink. Isn't this going to be hilarious?
Yeah.
I like A-Rod. He's the most unlikable person, but seems to like him hearing himself talk, which, I can't fault. But I don't think he says asinine things. Sometimes his like analysis is a little bit thin. I also assume he's got a lot of shit going on, and maybe he doesn't have the wherewithal to like go hire hey, go watch this, do an assessment, and get these facts to me so I sound competent guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been, for somebody who has every reason in the world to do nothing, like that guy's been out there trying to do content, calling games, trying to do like alternate broadcasts. Like he's been putting in the work. I agree. I am excited to see Jeter, somebody who I thought for decades had absolutely a bag of nothing.
Yeah.
In front of the camera.
Me too. Evan Carter not in the lineup today. By the way, 3:30, first pitch.
Why the hell not?
One hit against lefties all year.
There you go.
The splits, the numbers against lefties aren't good. I think we'll see him if we get to Fraber and get to that bullpen. But yeah, it's interesting. That dude's the only reason he's on the team right now is because Garcia got hurt trying to rob a home run in the last series against the Astros, the regular season, and they called him up, and now he's 21, and he's kind of the the darling of DFW sports right now. He's awesome, and he's very, very fast, elite speed.
When do you, as a Rangers fan, begin to feel any sort of comfort or confidence? They're 5-0 in the playoffs. I don't feel like I'm there yet, but I can't say them as diehard or as tuned in as most baseball fans can be.
2-game lead on the Astros, I think. Astros they're so good. I still don't feel comfortable about this series, but if they were to win today, or if they were to go up 3-1 at some point, then it's like, okay, you just got to win one more. But a 2-game lead over a team like that is when you start to feel a little bit comfortable. But the Astros, they can get real, real hot. So who knows?
Yeah, they've got, when they come home, they're throwing it's Scherzer Game 3. That's been announced. So he hasn't pitched in a month. That can be dicey. But you got Eovaldi throwing today. I mean, I'm confident. I mean, I'm honestly, it feels like house money, and I keep saying that, like I'm almost hedging, but like it's insane that we're even here. Given everything, losing DeGrom, losing Scherzer, bringing back Scherzer, losing all those other guys at different points throughout the season. And they were effing awful last year, the last many years actually. So it's cool, but yeah, I am confident, but Been watching this team a while, so I know that can turn on a dime.
I was going to say it should be your 5 wins and
don't
8 innings away from being comfortable.
Yeah. Very good point. Man, you know when I'm at my most comfortable? When my hair's feeling thick and voluminous. Guys, you don't have to choose between better hair growth and your health. There's a holistic solution for men that promotes both healthier hair and whole body wellness. Of course, talking about Nutrafol. Get ahead of thinning hair with Nutrafol's whole body approach to hair growth. No drugs, no compromises. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. Dillon, you've been rocking it for a while.
Been taking it consistently for probably a year and a half now. And I can't imagine missing a day at this point. I depend on it. It makes my hair feel better, thicker. It also makes me feel just a little bit better all around. Has other benefits besides the hair, even though that is their main selling point. Love this stuff. Absolutely love it.
Nutrafol's hair growth nutraceuticals go beyond genetics to multi-target the root causes of thinning, including stress, hormones, nutrition, metabolism, aging, and lifestyle through whole body health. Physician formulated using natural medical grade ingredients. Nutrafol's drug-free patented technology provides consistent, reliable results without compromising your sexual health. In a clinical study, men showed progressive improvement in hair growth and thickness after 3 and 6 months. Nutrafol is also trusted and recommended by more than 3,000 top doctors, including my own dermatologist. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code DIP to save $10 off your first month subscription. This offer is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time, plus free shipping on every order. Get $10 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code DIP. I don't know if you've checked the latest bowl projections, KJ, but we might be on a collision course, the Frisco Bowl, with them Bobcats and them ponies. How would you feel about that, bud?
Terribly. I would feel terrible about it. And it would be, I would be there. I will commit to that without hesitation at all. Apologize. I didn't give it enough attention when that news came through, as I was probably in the middle of travel. But if the Mustang season ends in another Tropicana Smoothie Frisco Bowl, I guarantee that you'll get like 60% participation from rostered players and maybe coaches, just out of lack of interest in preparing for the ACC. But I absolutely would be interested in seeing the Mustangs and T-State battle. It could happen soon. I think they're on the future schedule, so we're going to get a game sooner than you think.
We've played before.
Correct.
Yeah, Bobcats 5-2. This is like that. They haven't been over 500 at this point since they've been in, maybe once in their FBS career. I think never. So the turnaround that they've had with GJ Kenny is pretty insane. Nice comeback win over Monroe. Big stories. How are you guys feeling about? Says here, big Penix energy.
I didn't put that. I did. I put the one above it that said Penix is that dude.
Did you see game day? Desmond Howard just led the crowd in a chant of big Penix energy.
I missed that.
And it was insanely I don't know why it was so uncomfortable. I guess the word penis is uncomfortable. Penix doing I just college kid, I don't know. Just let's not do it.
Only parents and doctors say penis, right? You talking to your kid about body parts and stuff, or you're at the doctor.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
You know?
KJ, how do you feel about penis?
I'm 5 years old, I guess. It got it, I rock with it. I also think it might be the Macification of college game day. So I'm a little worrisome about that element. Standing here, 6 weeks into the season, we exited week 1, maybe week 2 with this thought of like, holy shit, the Pac-12 could write this incredible story about being like the upset queen of college football in their last year as a conference. USC has pretty much helped wither away some of those hopes, along with Cam Rising. So seeing this game this weekend was like, okay, we have a chance between these two.
Yeah.
Washington's still here. Oregon's not gone, but I feel less confident about where we're heading. I am just happy to see that Washington is trudging forward.
Yeah. And on the game day note, it's still not. I'm still watching it just for potential screen grabs for meme purposes. It is just not an enjoyable show. I will say the field goal kick bit with McAfee and Herbie, where McAfee will pay you $60K if you make. He gets like a random kid out of the crowd, and they gave the kid 2 shots, and he pulled the first one, made the second one, so he got like $30K. That's honestly the highlight, and it shouldn't be. It should not be the highlight of the show. Big news. USC goes down. They rush the field.
They were begging for a loss at some point. That defense is atrocious, and the offense, as good as Caleb Williams is, they haven't been like consistent all year. They've had bad halves a few times leading up to this game, but yeah, they couldn't put it together offensively, and of course, the defense is just bad.
Anytime this happens, the amount of the amount of different fan bases that dunk on Lincoln Riley, where it's like, so of course you got the OU.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Texas just because of that. But it's just, he gets it from everywhere, man. See, people calling him a fraud. I don't know if I'm willing to call him a fraud. Seems a little excessive.
It's so weird. Like, I get OU's butt hurt about this, but OU's good right now. Not to make this about SMU or anything like that, but like, I've been notably very butthurt about the departure of Sonny Dykes and one Rashad Samples a couple of years ago. But SMU continued on, and I've talked a lot less and less about them, and I haven't said Gary Patterson's name in months. I don't understand why OU can't move on.
All right, listen, they not only lost Lincoln, by the way, they loved Lincoln Riley at OU.
Yes,
not only
and
did they lose,
and they loved the recruitment class.
Not only did they lose Lincoln Riley, Caleb Williams left OU also. Heisman winner.
Good point.
Could win a second. He's probably not going to now, but they lost like a huge talent at quarterback. I think a couple other guys left for USC too. So it was a whole situation there. I get it. I still think Lincoln Riley is an excellent coach. He needs to find a defense at some point. I get that. But offensively, he's a good offensive mind still. The O-line played like trash.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They've been hit or miss since the season started.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's shocked at the outcome. It just was surprising of how one-sided it was and how poorly they were able to execute. But maybe Notre Dame shouldn't have dropped that game against. They dropped another one after Ohio State. Whatever game that was screwed them big time, because this would have put them still top 8 or whatever with one loss. Quick pivot.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night, I was sitting in a casino in Kansas City after a wedding, and I look up at the screen. Colorado was winning 29-0.
Oh, no.
And I noted to somebody, because Stanford had the ball and they were driving, I noted the guy I was sitting with, Dion just looks tired. Like he wants to go to sleep. He looked very, like, no other way to describe it, just sleepy. Didn't look angry, didn't look apathetic. He just looked tired. They proceed to piss away a 29-0 lead, and it was 29-26 next time you see it. Fast forward, and they lose in double overtime with like an all-time best wide receiver performance from a Stanford wide receiver, which they've had some good names out of Stanford in the past years, but 298 yards on Travis Hunter's return game or game back from injury. Are we absolutely done with Colorado hype, or is it that this was a one-win team with a lot of hype? They've exceeded expectations. We're just kind of seeing reality continue. Like them getting to bowl eligibility is now the goal.
This is phase 1 of Colorado. This is his first season. He had to replace 90% of the roster. I think they're just going to get better. I mean, they won one game last season, so they've already completely turned the program around, even though this was a really embarrassing one for them. Did you see what Shedeur Sanders was up to during halftime of this game?
I did not.
I heard, but I didn't see it, so I'll fill in.
They were up 29-0, as you just said, KJ, at halftime. They go in the locker room. Shedeur Sanders, and maybe it was someone on his social media team or something, I don't know what's going on, posted links to merch on his Instagram page, like a story post or something, during halftime of the game, which wouldn't have been as big a deal had they won the game. But you're up 29-0. You're on your phone. You're on social media at halftime. Meanwhile, the coach, who happens to be your father, is probably, talking to the team or whatever. And then they go out and they completely lay an egg in the second half and lose that game like that. It's a really, really bad look for him and for Prime, who I don't know if he's actually answered about that yet, if he's spoken publicly about his son doing that, but it's a pretty big detail of this game.
Surely he's got somebody who has access to that.
But I mean, it's coincidentally during halftime.
It's bad. That's a bad look.
When he had access to his phone.
Yeah. And just as we have done a number of times, just looking at their schedule, UCLA,
That doesn't get easier.
Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, and then Utah. So
Arizona just stomped somebody this weekend that we previously thought was okay. One moment, sorry, I should have it. I think it's Oregon State. No, who is it? Washington State, who started off the year decent. Yeah, nobody said they were going to be in the playoff conversation, but 44-6 is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's like, do you feel bad for Colorado? But ESPN pumped them up so much, rode this thing all because they beat TCU, who, TCU's fine. They're don't
worthwhile story at the point.
Yeah, that's fair. TCU was in the college football playoff. I don't blame them for gassing them up for that. But as we get further away from that game, it's like, okay, TCU's a above average Big 12 team, average to above average right now.
Yeah,
and then you beat Nebraska. Oof. You barely beat Colorado State. You get trucked by Oregon. You had a nice comeback against USC, but USC, I don't know. Whatever. It's still a win for them. They're still going to get better and still be a factor. I guess in the Big 12. It's really weird. It's really weird to say.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Quick question, David. As far as in-game hijinks of players doing things during halftime or in the middle of a game, any notable things come to mind? I've got one in my head, and I'm wondering if you might track that one down across all sports.
Oh, I've heard some Johnny Football. I've heard some Johnny Football things that are probably not on the record.
Or Dillon, anything come to mind to you?
No, I'm thinking.
No,
nothing's jumping out at me.
I don't know the year, maybe 2013-ish. Nerlens Noel,
former Maverick great,
leaves the locker room, I believe, during halftime. I don't know if he was dressed or not for the game.
Okay.
Goes up to the media lounge where they've got catering services for the reporters and just has himself a glizzy.
Yeah, he did have a halftime glizzy. He was on the Mavs roster. He was a player who got minutes, and he had he went upstairs and got himself a glizzy.
Did he
from
really?
Yeah, but it's like, dude, you're a player. You could have asked, hey, told somebody, can you go get me something to eat? Instead, he went up to the press room and he got himself
stood in line.
Glizzy.
Did the awkward? Oh, it's a two-side buffet. Okay, I'll go to the side, get the plate. Oh, forks. Anybody got it?
What's the food spread situation during halftime at a game like that? Do they have sure they have little snacks and shit set
for the
out.
team?
Yeah,
I
would imagine
they don't have chopped beef sandwiches, but surely they have snacks, protein bars, and bananas and shit.
Have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. In today's day and age of nutrition and all that, absolutely spot on that you're not getting a boxed lunch. After the game, you'll probably, I don't know at the NFL and pro level, but standard at the college level, you're going to see a boxed Chick-fil-A or KFC or something where it's a box to go replenishment meal. Because at that point, they're not like trying to say, okay, watch your greens and macros and stuff like that, chicken, rice. Like it's going to be a protein, like get you full, get you ready to sleep on the bus and plane.
Another, we talked about Brent Rooker earlier, letting fans in on a little, behind the scenes stuff. He talked about visiting stadium food spreads and like which ones were his favorite and like which away teams really take care of players and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
We got so much to talk to him about.
Yeah.
We need to just do an entire episode with him.
Mostly Jags Saints. Like I'm excited to pick his brain on that Thursday night matchup.
Wow. Is that what we got?
That is what we got.
Okay.
The last thing on college football I have is that UGA is going, Georgia that is going to be missing tight end Brock Bowers for 4 to 6 weeks. Ankle injury and had what's called tightrope surgery on his ankle, which I had to look up because I did not know what that was. That's a big blow for Georgia.
Yeah.
He is freaking excellent.
He's really good. Tightrope surgery doesn't sound good.
Tightrope system anchors the ends of the tibia and fibula together with a braided polyethylene cord rather than with rigid surgical screw to restore the original position of the bones and allow for proper healing. 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. Well, we wish him well in his endeavor.
Might be back by
he's
playoffs.
still just a true sophomore, right?
I don't know. No, I think he's draft eligible after this year. Yeah,
That's a good question.
Okay.
He's draft eligible.
Are you going to come back?
Because he's projected. He'll still be a first rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
He's a
Okay.
madman.
Oh man, I wonder if, like me, he's ever found himself paying on a subscription, something that he forgot about, like he did, like a free trial, and then like he looked up a year later and he'd been paying for it and just didn't realize it.
That's probably happened to him.
Probably it happens to all of us, actually, man, and it's not a good feeling. You ever discover any subscriptions you forgot about? Well, you should check out our friends at Rocket Money. Okay, Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about, and chances are you're one of them. Like that Stars app, you just forgot, you watched one show on, or that free gaming trial you never actually used. Rocket Money will quickly and easily find your subscriptions for you, and for any you don't want to pay for anymore, just hit cancel, and Rocket Money will cancel for you. It's that easy. I've done it. I was like, oh, this is going to be a beating to cancel. Went in, just hit cancel, and it said, you sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. Boom. It's done.
It's found money. Or it's you're leaving money on the table. There's got to be something somewhere that you've forgotten about. If you got to cancel something here or there, you have to do it.
Absolutely. Rocket Money also helps you manage all your finances in one place and automatically categorize your expenses so you can easily track your budget in real time, and also get alerted if anything looks off. Over 3 million people who have used Rocket Money, saving the average person up to $720 a year. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/bang. That's rocketmoney.com/bang. rocketmoney.com/bang. Kind of a weird one. NFL yesterday. I was red zoning it. I was peeping it that way. Pretty much watching games, rooting against teams. That's kind of what it boiled down to. The Eagles and Niners specifically. And guess what? It happened. They both lost. Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback again.
There are no undefeated teams left.
Everyone is out. Looks like Dillon was right. Everybody's bailing on Jalen Hurts.
Average on his best day.
Egregious interception.
Yeah.
A very, very just meh day for the Eagles offense. But Zach Wilson, man.
Yeah. That defense is not going anywhere. The Jets still have a very legit defense.
Facts.
So, and Zach Wilson did not exactly light it up.
No.
But they did just enough.
Found a way. Figure it out.
I hate that I'm even asked this dumb question. This is a very first take question. But at what point do you begin to start doing the math on weeks to recovery versus playoff contention and wondering if we're going to see Aaron Rodgers back for the Jets?
It's on a rundown. I've been doing it. I'm very fascinated by this because it's
For the
very
people
awkward.
at home, for the sake of showmanship, I was going to pretend I didn't see it there, and I was going to lead you into it. You know.
Oh, the greatest showman.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
You're
with the
there
awkward
already, though.
situation of Zach Wilson, if he like is competent and they do get like a wild card spot, and the Rodgers, whatever recovery he's been doing that has him able to walk and throw a football, like just like a month later after surgery, do you make the switch? I mean, the answer is yes. You've just paid all this money, but that's still awkward and like
No, it's not.
it's a. I mean, if Zach, okay,
They know why. He knows why they brought him in there.
I know.
It was clear day one that he was going to be the backup no matter what.
What if the team rallies behind Zach, man?
Dave, no. You're talking about Aaron Rodgers here.
Discount double check.
He's a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. They brought him there to be the guy to get them like through the playoffs. That's
Didn't
why
get the jab.
He didn't get the jab. I understand that. But that's why he's in New York.
That's fair.
This won't even be an uncomfortable conversation, I don't think. Especially since Zach Wilson is not playing well.
I was just thinking
He's
how
not
shitty.
the reason for the wins. Agreed.
You're right.
And he could turn it around. He could play
You're right.
he could play like an MVP the rest of the season, and they still wouldn't let him start in the playoffs.
You're right.
If Aaron Rodgers were healthy.
I was just thinking how funny, how shitty a show called Uncomfortable Conversations with Zach Wilson would be.
Yeah, he knows the deal. He knows he's not the guy.
No, he's not
He's
that guy, pal.
He's the husband whose wife's boyfriend is back in town. Like he kind of understands it's time for him to take a business trip for a couple days.
Okay.
It's a cuck play.
Okay.
That's what KJ's doing. KJ's seen that video.
Yeah, you know. Again, I always go back to like, why couldn't the interracial couple be the happily married couple? Anyways, I want to know on the Niners game.
Okay.
I feel like the crowd, quote unquote, rooting for Jalen Hurts' downfall is limited, mostly Dillon and maybe like a couple other people, Cowboys adjacent. I'm joking. I don't think Dillon's rooting against him, but I do think the Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth and overall NFL love relationship with Brock Purdy is creating more haters than the Niners should have, I think. I feel like they're a fun team to watch. I don't have any reason personally to hate them. I was annoyed by the broadcast, but like I saw a lot of people celebrating Brock Purdy dropping the game and the Niners losing. Granted, they had injuries, but like I feel like that showed up yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy that their team ceased to be good once they lost their number one and or two of their top three offensive weapons. I don't know where you put Kittle on that list, but I'm willing to argue that those are their first and second best options.
point.
McCaffrey and Debo.
I was thinking Ayuk, and I wouldn't even think Kittle because he didn't do shit yesterday.
One catch.
Terrible. Yeah. And the defense looked okay-ish. So it kind of creates the opportunity to bring it back to the Cowboys. I don't think it makes the Cowboys' loss look worse that somebody went in and made, that the Browns, who've played tremendous on defense all year, that the Browns were able to pull this off. But I do think it creates the opportunity for people to say, oh, well, there are flaws in the teams at the top of the NFC. The Cowboys can right the ship and be just as dominant with a good performance tonight.
Yeah, I think you can say that the flaw with San Francisco is maybe they don't have another guy like Christian McCaffrey or another Debo Samuel. Maybe you could say depth, how reliant they are. Because, I mean, their offense looked really bad in the second half. But I'm glad you brought up the Cowboys playing tonight because I have an extremely fuego take. I'm not a hot take guy, but should they lose this game and go to 3-3 and their offense looks bad, they go into a bye week next week. We've seen Jerry fire coaches in a bye week before. I would not be shocked at all if he made a switch, if he got rid of McCarthy and the bye week. And the reason, the X factor is Jerry is a big, insecure billionaire baby. And if he sees the Rangers getting all of the love, he will do so. He will make a splash move to get the attention back on him. It's like hiring somebody or making a big move week of the Super Bowl to get people talking about the Cowboys. He hates the fact that the Rangers are what everybody, I say everybody, NFL's still king, but what we're all like glued to right now.
Elevate Dan Quinn, who's right there in the box already. That dude had coaching experience, probably in line for his next head coaching gig anyway. Let him ride out the rest of the season, see what happens.
Yeah.
Don't hate it at all.
At a minimum, you might take him take away play calling duties. But I don't know if you can do that. Can you strip your head coach and expect him to? I mean, you can, but it's just such a
that's a pride situation.
Somebody else is doing that right now this week. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you that for there. I'm just trying to. I'll find it. But somebody else just announced their coordinator or their coach is only going to be or giving it play calls. I'll find it. But you'd be giving them to Brian Schottenheimer, whose notable record includes passing game coordinator of the Jags in 21, Urban Meyer year, Seahawks for 2 years, Colts for a year before that, Georgia's offense coordinator for a year, Rams for 2 years. Longest stint on his record was the Jets from 06 to 11, which I believe is butt fumble Sanchez years.
Hey, Sanchez, by the way, really good on play-by-play or color guy. Never feel great saying that word.
Olive skin.
Straight up.
Color commentator.
Yeah, color commentator. So, just as an aside, he is very good. I find him entertaining. I like him. But yeah, no, look, KJ, you're not inspiring confidence.
Frank Reich. I'm sorry. I was searching that while making sure I heard you enunciate. Frank Reich is giving up play calling duties to offense coordinator Thomas Brown. Because people are 6 games in and ready to absolutely pull the plug, call Bryce Young a bust, which I don't think is fair at all. I'm not saying that he's going to be great, but CJ Stroud's looked great. I don't think it's fair to sit there and say Bryce Young is going to be trash just because the first 6 games of somebody's career with a team who's in the position to pick first overall.
There you go. I agree. I'm not giving up on Bryce Young.
6 games in, no way.
No.
Quick other notes. Jags, mentioned them earlier. Trevor Lawrence went down with a knee sprain. Looks to avoid a major injury. Obviously, I'd be here in different spirits if that was not the case. Maybe not be here at all.
Okay.
I mean, I would take the day off.
Okay.
You
wouldn't take the life off.
I'm not jumping to the bottom of Lake Monona because Trevor Lawrence is out.
Wisconsin
Speaking
guy.
of local injuries, Tanner Mordecai, broken hand, SMU quarterback experiment here that's led to an absolutely abysmal performance. That's done. That show is over here in Madison.
Way to go, KJ.
Anyways, there you go.
Hey, one other note before we get to run it back. We only got one party note. We've got Dolly Parton doing Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving for the Cowboys game. Let's be clear.
I love Dolly.
I'm not hating on Dolly. I was hating on a number of the artists KJ sent in that tweet who have done Cowboys Thanksgiving halftime show.
You gonna look me in the face and tell me Jolene isn't an absolute banger?
It is, but you've heard it.
I've
heard it so many
Love
times.
it. Jack White's rendition as well. Great song.
Don't say Miley.
Can't wait to hear her
Miley
hit
does a
9
great-
to 5
a
when
great
they're down
cover.
20.
God.
Does Miley not do a great cover?
It's fine, but they just
Miley's
they've
is
run it
trash.
out there
Jack White.
every New Year's Eve or some
You know,
shit.
that's her godmother too. Did you know that?
Yes, you're right.
That's very Fitzpatrick went to Harvard. I feel like that comes up anytime.
I wish they would
Miley
go
Parton.
back to 2018 and get Megan Trainor. They did have some bangers, dude. 1998, Randy Travis.
Pre or post
That's
found at a
definitely
convenience
pre,
store
and you
nude.
know that. You just brought it up. Yes, he went through some things. Still one of the greatest voices in country. Toby Keith, 2003. That was timely-ish.
Pre or post
That was post the thing.
treatment.
Tragedy. And 2003, probably in the lead up to the war in Iraq. Here's Toby Keith. Selena Gomez 2013. I'm in on that. The hometown gal.
Pre or post thickening?
Okay.
Other teams have started doing Thanksgiving performances. I think like Detroit does one every year. I've seen like Big Sean spare people to death, even though I enjoy his music. His performance was not great. I don't like the Thanksgiving performance at all. I will change. I reserve the right to change my opinion if Dolly Parton shows up. I don't know if you know that this performance is also the kickoff to the Cowboys Salvation Army kettle campaign. It's big on their philanthropic endeavors. So you'll see the two big red kettles in the end zone. Certain player who scored a touchdown this weekend has once jumped into one. I want to throw out a wardrobe recommendation. Maybe Dolly Parton, known for several things, including her performances and songs, as we've talked about, dons an outfit with two large red kettles as a tribute to Zeke.
You know, KG, I don't really tell women what they should be wearing. Kind of let them decide on their own. Dave, how do you feel?
Okay.
So I'm trying to think.
I wasn't expecting that curve.
Where were you expecting? Okay.
I think you have an idea what he's going for there, Dave.
It's like a little peekaboo Zeke.
It's KJ.
So shout out to Dolly. She's an American treasure.
She is.
It's really a St. Patrick's Day joke at its core. Okay. It's not really even a Dolly thing. Okay, let's move it on.
Okay.
Shall we run it back and get out of here?
Please.
The segment, of course, during which we talk about what we already talked about. KJ put cheese in his pocket.
Oh, shit, I forgot.
Then dropped some cheese and got called out for it. Ump Cam stinks, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The newest Puts in Boots. Why do I have so much trouble saying that?
Because you're very, very timid, like you should be.
Yeah. It's a children's movie for crying out loud.
Just call it P&B.
The newest P&B is gas.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
The word penis makes KJ visibly uncomfortable. KJ made a cuck parallel with Zach Wilson's situation in New York, weirdly. Yeah. Dave's Fuego take. If Dallas loses tonight, is McCarthy fired by big baby billionaire Jerry Jones?
Substack.
You may not know that Dolly Parton is Miley's godmother. Zeke scored a touchdown. KJ kind of said.
He did.
And finally, KJ horny than a bish.
There we go.
Facts. And that concludes Run It Back in today's fine episode of Too Much.
I'd say show me the lie, but you can't. You
Can't
just
do it.
can't.
Can't do it.
How many is that for Zeke on the year? Is that 2 or 3?
We are 10% of the way to our double-digit experiment.
no.
On the roster, trending upward.
I don't know what you were thinking when you said that. That was one of the more bizarre things you've ever said on this show.
It's a dynamic offense.
I really thought his pass pro would endear him to more snaps on the field in a Bill Belichick offense.
How many snaps is he getting a game?
I don't know. I haven't checked. Well, I'll have it Thursday.
He better not. He better not be on Snapchat at halftime.
With Shador.
That'd
There
be
we go.
bad look for how that season's going.
Yeah. All right. Fun episode.
We're
guys.
funny. Cool.
All right.
Hey, check us out Thursday night, 6:30 Central. Special guest. Oh, I don't know. All-Star. Oakland Athletics All-Star. Dillon, you fucking know what I'm talking about? Brent Rooker.
30 bombs this year.
30 bombs.
Memphis finest.
What if I would have told you at the beginning of the year that our dear friend would have 30 bombs in the bigs this year? What would
I'd
you
say
to
yeah.
me?
I expected that. I've been following his career since Mississippi State.
Okay.
Fair
Fair enough. I'm sorry.
Bye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.
When my team wins a big game, it's good.